Once again, my name is Tenyo Navarro. I am also known as the Creative Pirate, and tonight I have a treat for all of those fans of Batman. So let's say you guys want to make something in 3D that is, you know, um, dear in your heart, like Batman's logo. So let's start. So we're gonna press New. We're gonna click in the middle of the viewport, press the space bar. So here I want it in the front view. So I'm gonna go View, Import Image. I'm gonna go to my Downloads folder, arrange it by the last day, and I should have it here. This is what we're gonna create. Now, the first part is very simple. We're gonna make sure it's in the middle. We're gonna press W, push it back in the scene, and just leave it there. We're not gonna touch it anymore. Actually, let's make it a bit bigger because it's a bit small. Let's just press R, make it a bit bigger. I think that's good enough. I just want it to be a decent size. So let's say this is good. Let's save this, Shift Command S. I'm gonna save it to the place that I'm working on right now. So it's a new folder, 2021 3D work, sorry. I'm gonna make a new folder by clicking up here. I'm gonna call it Batman Logo. I'm gonna press enter. I'm gonna open it. And then again, Batman Logo. I do this early on because, for example, if anything happens, I already have it saved. I don't have to sit there and create everything all over because Maya does crash from time to time, and we don't want to deal with that. So let's begin. First things first, I'm gonna hide the grid. I don't want the grid in my way. We're gonna do the very simple thing, which is this circle here. So I went up and I added a polygon disk. That's good enough for me. Press E, J, and I'm gonna hold down the J while I rotate so that I can see that it snaps while I'm rotating. I'm gonna scale it to see if, look at that. Now, as you can see, we don't want these rough edges, so we're gonna get rid of those rough edges by coming to poly disk and adding those, and let's see if we can. Perfect. You can see that through, if we come through X-ray, we can see that it's almost perfect, so I'm not gonna mess with that. And I'm gonna call that, you know what, no, let's not do that yet. So now you see, this is the part that I'm gonna use as the illuminated part. So now what I want to do is I want to contour. You know what, no, let's leave this as is, and I'm gonna call that circle so it has a name. Command S to save, and H to hide that. Now, how are we gonna do this? Real simple, guys. We're gonna begin with a polygon plane. We're gonna press E, hold down J while we click and rotate to make sure that it's there. We're gonna come up to polyplane, zero that out. We're gonna scale this up with the R to about right there. I'm happy with that. Mesh to insert edge loop, and we're gonna click on the box here, and let's make this one. Keep that in the middle. I'm gonna show you why in a minute. That's one edge loop. Object mode, Command S. Now this is the important part, guys. So I have my World X turned on. It can be Object X, depending on your situation. You can use either or. And what I want to do with this, I want to be able to work with one side and have it reflect on the other, so it cuts my work in half. How do we do this? Okay, first we're gonna take this middle vertex, select it, press W, bring it down to the tip of the Batman. Likewise, see what I'm doing here? Bam. Now, we're gonna need a curve here, but we'll do that later. Let's just handle the main frame. So now, we have divisions here, 1, 2, in the middle. So we're gonna do is we're gonna add 1 on this side. It's gonna take care of this division here. And now let's zoom in and move this vertex so we can get the angle that we want. So let's take this, press W, and as you can see, we're working both sides. We'll add more curves later, but for now I'm happy with this. Now with this, I'm gonna extrude some edges. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, Command E and press W, and it's gonna push it up. Now we're gonna move some more vertices. Vertices around. So I'm gonna take this one, pop it here. We're gonna bring this down. We're gonna bring this big guy here. We're gonna push this in to match the air. And we're gonna take this and move it here, and we're gonna push up because it needs to extrude out later to this. So how do we do now? We take this edge, right click, bevel edge, and we're gonna add. Okay, here you see this the speed. This is a dragging speed. I usually put it here. Why? Because sometimes it goes too fast and it will just have a hard time when you try to control this here, dragging and working with it. So let's make it into 3 and let's fraction it out evenly as much as we can, and I'm about happy with that. Let's check the bottom. We're gonna have to add 4. That's fine because we lost our point by adding extra vertices, but it doesn't matter. Adding extra edge loops. So we're gonna have to rework this. Press W, select, drag it down to the point, drag it down to the point. We're gonna push this one up a little more and this one up a little more, and I'm pretty content with this right now. So let's match this up. We're gonna take this, push, and I think I'm happy with that. Yeah, I can't complain. Let me push this up a bit, and we're okay. I think I'm okay with that. Now we're gonna do, you know what? Let's do something here. We're gonna take these vertices, and we're gonna press R so we can flatten it, and then just drag out and make the point. So here we go, edge, click, Command E, W, push it up to the point, press R, and now we're gonna have to work the other vertex. So let's W that. I wonder, should we make this? Yeah, so let's do this. Select both vertices, shift right click, and merge the vertices. And let's give it a this threshold, right? So as soon as it unites, let it go. I think 0.34 is fine for me. Here we go. Command S to save. So always, when you get a chance and if necessary, do this process I'm about to do now. Edit, delete by type history. Edit, delete by type 90 former history. Modify freeze transformations. Modify center pivot. Command S. Why? Sometimes this starts building up as you go along and it becomes a pain in the behind because it starts dragging Maya and it eventually can crash. So now let's do this here. We're going to take this edge. We're going to press Command E and W. So the way I like to approach this is, let's get it here, vertex, and we're going to match this one to this corner. Make sure it's right there. The next thing, we're going to take edge, again, Command E, W, and we're going to drag this out. Should we do it like this? Yeah, so let's do that. Let's put one corner here, vertex, and take this corner. We're gonna pop it here. Just You can approach this in a variety of ways. This is my way. Again, it's not the only way, but I think this will be okay for now. So mesh tool, insert edge loop. We're gonna take one here, and we're gonna add this here, and then we're gonna add one here, and one here. So we're gonna work with the outside first. Inside we can eventually clean it up, but let's push this up, push this down, down, down here, down here. Let's just drag, click and drag it just to make sure we space it out evenly. Right here and right here. Right about here is good for me. We'll fix this in a bit. Here, same thing. We're gonna push here. Push here, make sure it's as straight as we can get it so that we have clean geometry. And we're gonna push this here. Same thing. Here we're gonna have to work with the edge to follow the loop, but let's not worry about that for now. Let's just, again, push this here. You see how these are too close? We're gonna have an issue with that later on when we work. One here and this here. We're very close, guys. So now we're gonna take this one, we're gonna drag it out to about here. Drag out and drag out. Command S to save what we have so far. Now guys, it's important to work with clean geometry so that when you're gonna, in this case it's gonna be easy to UV. I'm gonna show you how to do that at the end of working with all of this. But it's always good to have geometry, good geometry. So I'm gonna take these, I'm gonna press R, straighten it out and move it up. I think that's fine. Same thing with these, R, and push it up. Same thing with these here, R. And you know what? That's fine. Yeah, let's push this up. Now we're gonna follow this curve here with the next line. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, push up, and keep the geometry flowing nicely. Drag. We're gonna drag this, and this big guy here we're gonna drag, and we're gonna follow this contour. Let's push this a bit more towards the middle so we can get nice. Like I said, the important thing here is your clean geometry. We're gonna bring this boy down, this big boy down, like this. And the reason I separate this a little bit from the edge is because sometimes you want to bevel the edges if you're gonna make this a bit thicker. And if you have anything close to the edge, is gonna interfere with the spacing when you try to bevel that edge. I'll explain that a little bit more later. I'm trying to do this as fast as I can because it should be simple for us. So here we need about 4. So I'm gonna take 1, 2, 3. I think that's fine. Vertex W. We're gonna make these work for us. 2, 3. Move this big boy over. Let's separate this mesh a bit because it's too close together towards the edge. And we don't want that problem. Like I said, I'm always thinking ahead of the game so that again, I think this here should be fine because I don't think I'm gonna make too thick of a beveled edge. But again, let's just clean this geometry up a little more. I think that's fine with the flow, and we're gonna curve this flow here. We're gonna keep this curve flowing, and I think that's decent enough. I think that's decent enough, guys. We're gonna push this over, push this over. I'm really happy with this, but let's just space them out better so they're clean. Which I think it's gonna help us out. So let's keep moving them over a little bit. Again, this is trying to get clean geometry. Okay, we're gonna push this out here. That's fine. We're gonna add 2, 2, 2, and 2. So let's make this easy on ourselves. Change this to 2. So we get 2 evenly. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Command S and vertex W. We're gonna curve this out to get a nice clean edge. Again, this is my way of doing it. If you have a faster way, it's fine, or if you find a faster way, it's also fine. I'm just very detail oriented. I like to get my hands on this so you don't forget the practices that you learn in 3D modeling and animation. Ladies and gentlemen, here we have the bat signal. I'm very content with that. I only had to do one side, and with the symmetry, it did the other side. I'm happy with this. Now, what do we have? I'm gonna press the space bar. I'm gonna unhide the circle by pressing H. I'm gonna move the bat circle forward a little bit. I'm gonna select both, edit, delete all by type history, non-deformer, freeze the transformations, and center the pivot. Command S to save. Always save your work. Now, let's just say, because this is flat, this doesn't help us. So let's just say we want to add depth to this. Let's start with the circle. We're going to select edge, double click, Command E, W. We're going to push this back. I think that's fine. And then Command E, R. We're going to close this down a little bit. You know what? No. Let's just Command. Let's see if I did this right. Yeah, Command E, and let's try working with this better. So let's give it a little lip here. So that's going to become the edge holder. Command E. Let's add some thickness the other way. So it's going to hold. So now what that does, if I press 3, 1, 2, and 3, you see how I get an edge here and I don't get nothing here. That's because I didn't bevel that edge, so that's not good. But this one holds pretty still. We're going to press 1 again. We're going to do something different here. You see this has a lip. We're going to try to create that. So I'm going to right click, object mode, face, select all of it, shift deselect what I don't want. I'm going to press Command E, and I'm going to offset this a little bit. I'm sorry. Let's give it the same thing we did in the back. So let's do this. Let's push some thickness. Command E. Let's get some offset. And we're going to do it one more time. We're going to do this a little bit different. So we're going to do that once. Command E. Offset. Give it some space. Command E. Offset. Command E. Thickness inside to hold that edge. Command E. Thickness a little deeper. Command E. We're gonna give that there. Command E and then R. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna give it a little extra lip to hold it into place. So let's see what that looks like, guys. So it's too much. I gave it too much. So let's see this edge here, and then we'll be able to manage it. So I think I'm happy with that. Now watch what happens. All that extra work I did, if I press 3, object mode, look how clean those edges stay. So if you're going to smooth this out, you're going to have clean geometry, and you're going to have clean lips and not have to worry about it. So I'm going to press 1, Command S. Now for the bat signal. Oh, one more thing. So let's go back to that face that we were working on. So a Command Z goes backwards, and then Shift Command C goes forwards when you undo. Now here I'm gonna press Shift period, so that it grows the face. If I press Shift comma, subtracts, Shift period gives you a little selects the faces in order, and I'm gonna shift right click and duplicate this face. Object mode, I'm gonna click on the face and I'm gonna pull it out a little bit so that we have two separate pieces. This will be the metal, this will be the glow. Now the Batman logo. If you want to add some depth to this, you don't have to select the edges. You can just press Command E, drag as much as you want it. Now here, let's be smart. Let's do something like this. So I'm gonna do, you know what? Let's do it a different way. Yeah, I'm gonna do the Command E. I'm gonna drag it out. Let's say I want it that deep. I'm happy with that. Now here we have to be very careful. I don't think I need that back piece, do I? Yeah, because it's, if you rotate it, it's gonna need it. But we're trying not to rotate, so we're okay. Now, it's important that we bevel some edges. Why? Because it looks great. But as soon as I press 3, it's like a cookie. We don't want a cookie. We want a straightforward Batman. So, what do? We take the edges. We have the symmetry on, so let's work clicking edges. Shift double click, shift double click, shift click, double click. And we're gonna go all the way around the signal. We're gonna take that one because that's a sharp edge, and this one, it's a sharp edge. That edge, shift double click. Everything